got some, as I said before, you're not going to find one that's going to be perfect, but each one of them should have a little bit of everything. This, of course, is going to be your internal common carotid artery on the right-hand side, and then we see that looks like esophagus. The left or the right common carotid on that right-hand side. But what I do like to see here is we can see the here's thyrocervical trunk again, going up into the neck region. But then this would be your axillary artery. I don't know that they've dissected a lot through here. Well, maybe they have, yeah. So this should be your left. Where is it? Brachial. All right. So here's your left subclavian artery here. And it's going to go up and over the top of the rib cage and then go back down in here. So this will be the axillary artery, and if we followed it out into the arm, it would be the brachial artery. This is actually subscapular. We will not test you on that one that's going into the area below the scapula. Hard to see much more in here. This would be their brachiocephalic trunk because we've got one. No, it's not. So now let's see if they've got a good, yes, they've got a wonderful aorta. You can see the aorta here with the intercostal arteries attaching. See all the intercostal arteries? If we flip it over, we're going to look at the other side and you'll see, so you can see both of them. Here's a zygous vein, and then that's aorta from the other side, okay? I'll just say right now, we will test the azygous vein from the right-hand side and the aorta from the left-hand side, okay? So if we flip this over, let's see what they have down here. We might be able to see. So they haven't cut all the way through the diaphragm, which is cool, that's fine. But what we can see is going to be the suprarenal vein right here going to the renal gland, or excuse me, the adrenal gland on the left-hand side, and then we see the renal vein here. Oh, and this is great. It's great. I'm so excited. One thing we don't see very often is the gonadal presentations, and it looks like we see a little bit of what I wanted to show you, and that is the left so on the arteries for the gonadals, that's going to the ovaries and the testes, correct? For the arteries, those gonadal arteries going to the testes or the ovaries, they come off the aorta and they go down symmetrically. But on the veins, they don't present that way. On the veins on the right-hand side, the gonadal vein comes off of the inferior vena cava, much like the arteries come off the aorta. But the only anomaly is this one right here, and that is the left gonadal vein comes off the left renal vein. So the other one's the right side is always going to come off the aorta and the inferior vena cava, but the left side, and you can see it right here. See the left renal vein, and see that blood vessel coming off, going down. That is the left gonadal vein. So we don't see that very often, but it's there. What do we have? They haven't really dissected a lot of their blood vessels in this region that I already showed you on that one that I did this section on. But there's your left gonadal vein. Here we there's your left gonadal artery. Here's because it's going over to they have a female, right? So the ovary's in here, so it makes sense. There's the artery, and here's the vein, both going over to where the ovary is. You see that? Isn't that cool? Then that's the ureter coming off, but they've done a good job down below. These are the iliolumbar artery and veins going off to the lumbar region on the left-hand side. And then on this side, that's going to be the ovarian artery going off to the right-hand side. And then if we look a little lower, see this right here? That's what we call the caudal mesenteric artery or inferior mesenteric artery. The superior mesenteric artery comes off above and goes down to the intestines. This dude right here, this inferior mesenteric artery, comes off down below. But they both come off the aorta. Here's the aorta right here. That's the aorta. Let's see if I can just separate out. That's aorta right there. And then they've done a good job of dissecting out off the aorta. We have two main branches here, the first two main branches. This will be your external, I can look that up, external iliac, if I can get that off of the vein below it. I need her some forceps, but external iliac is that vessel right there on the right-hand side. And then on the other side, see it on the other side here, I don't know that they haven't dissected it out. But it looks like they would probably have a good external iliac on the other side as well. I can kind of see a little bit better here. But what I want you to notice, if I can get this lifted up. All right, fantastic. I can see it better here. Let's see if I can fold it over and see it. So this is the external iliac on the other side. Thank you, whoever that was.
Sarah.
External iliac on the other side going to the right leg. What I would say is once so they haven't dissected all the way through, but the external iliac goes through the chest or the abdominal wall and becomes the femoral artery. So that's femoral artery there. And we're not really seeing a good shot of the internal iliacs. But what we say is the external iliacs will go down to the legs. The internal iliacs come off just below that, and then they go into the pelvic region. So that's pretty good. We'll get this one. Let's see if we can find another one that's got some good stuff.